There are two sets of flight controls on an airplane. They're known as primary and secondary flight controls. Nearly every airplane only contains 3 primary flight controls. That is, unless you fly a B-2 bomber, which makes me question why you're even here in the first place. First, the ailerons. When we turn the yoke to the left aileron moves up and the right aileron moves down, causing the left wing to move down and the right wing to move up. This causes the airplane to roll or turn to the left. Conversely, when we turn the yoke to the right aileron is now deflecting upwards, and the left aileron is now deflecting downwards. This causes the left wing to move up and the right wing to move down, which causes the airplane to turn to the right. Remember this: thumbs up, aileron up. Whichever direction your thumb is pointing as you turn the yoke, that is the aileron that is deflecting upwards. Again, this is known as roll, and it's along the longitudinal axis of the airplane. Next, the elevator. Think of the elevator just like an elevator in a building. It allows you to go up or down. When you pull back on the yoke, the elevator moves up, causing the nose of the airplane to also move up. And you guessed it, when you push forward on the control yoke, the elevator moves down, causing the nose to also move down. This is known as pitch, and it operates along the lateral axis of the airplane. Next, we have the rudder. When you push forward on the right rudder, the rudder deflects to the right, causing the nose of the airplane to yaw to the right. The wings remain level for the most part. The nose of the airplane simply yaws. When you push forward on the left rudder, the airplane yaws to the left. We use the rudder not to turn, but to initiate our turns and coordinate them with the ailerons. You will cover this more in the turns to headings lesson. So again, this is called yaw, and it operates on the vertical axis of the airplane. Now the secondary flight controls. The first being trim. This is the trim wheel on the Cessna. When we take a closer look, you can see that we have the actual elevator trim wheel, which is what you use to control the trim, and we also have the elevator trim indicator. A better depiction would be if this arrow pointed here, but you get what you pay for, and sometimes FAA diagrams are not the best. When we rotate the trim wheel downwards, the trim tab on the elevator moves upwards. Remember how we used pitch earlier? When we pulled back on the yoke, the elevator moved upwards. The same thing is happening here with the trim wheel. When we rotate it down, the trim tab is moving up. Think of it as pulling the trim wheel down, just like you pull the yoke towards you. So you're pulling the trim wheel towards you. We use trim to offset the pressures of the control yoke. In this example, we have a nose-high attitude, and we are using the trim to offset those pressures. This is so we don't have to hold on to the yoke of the airplane to continue to fly in that nose-high attitude. You will practice this every flight with your flight instructor, multiple times per flight, until it becomes second nature. And don't worry, it will become second nature much sooner than you think. Just like driving your car. Do not fly the airplane with the trim. This is a very common error for new pilots, and the quicker you can learn not to fly the airplane with the trim, the quicker you will progress through the rest of your flight training. Practice doesn't make perfect, but it definitely does make proficient. Just to reiterate, we set the attitude of the nose first using the yoke, and then we offset those pressures using the trim wheel. Control yoke first, trim second. And finally, we come to the flaps. In the Cessna, we have 4 flap settings: 0 degrees, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, and 30 degrees, or full flaps. When we move the flap control lever to 10 degrees, the flaps simultaneously move to the 10-degree position, and so on until we reach full flaps, or 30 degrees. You will get into flap aerodynamics and systems in much later lessons. For now, all you really need to know about flaps is that it allows you more control over your landing point and your approach angle, which again, you will start practicing in later lessons. At this phase in your flight training, it is completely natural to feel overwhelmed. Just take a deep breath, lean on your flight instructor, and you will come out the other side as a great pilot. Happy flying.